Like it's there, but it's not all there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that graphic that one of our graphic designers made with you in the mink coat?
Oh, that was good, man. I like that. Actually, I screenshotted that last night. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna need one of those for this winter.
Dude, yeah, Pittsburgh, man. You could do all 4 seasons in one day.
Oh yeah, that's true. Very true. Very true. Especially the rainy season. It's always raining there. Always. I remember when I first got there, I think it rained for 3 weeks in a row.
That's crazy. But that's Pittsburgh too.
Yeah.
Tyler, it's live if you wanted to tweet that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Did you notice I changed up the intro?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, if you read it straight from there, you're good anyway. But all right.
Yeah.
That's a clean jersey, by the way.
Bro.
Yeah.
I got an autographed one right in front of me.
Oh, for real? What color? What color?
It's just the black home one. I got the Hayden Color Rush and Deontay away ones right next to it.
All right.
All right, Tyler. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of Around the 412. We are part of the Pod Hub Network and AllSteelers.com, and we are sponsored by Keeks Barbershop. I'm Tyler, and with me as always is Smitty. And today we got a good one for you folks. Tonight we are joined by Steelers defensive back Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah, how's it going?
Man, it's going, man. It's going. I appreciate y'all having me on.
We found out just before starting this that we are the first Pittsburgh podcast to bring on Minkah Fitzpatrick. So we are honored, man, that we were able to make this happen. And like we said right before we started as well, shout out to Mama Fitzpatrick for helping us make this happen.
Big shout out. Big shout out.
We got the live chat rolling. So if anybody has any comments or questions, we'll try to get to them along with the ones that we came up with and asked for on Twitter. So I asked this to everybody that comes on, whether it be whatever league they're in. What was the draft process like for you?
So in regards to the actual draft or leading up to the draft?
Like leading up to, the combine, your pro day, everything like that.
It was honestly, I was training. I was focused on, just making sure I run the fast 40. I was focused on running the fast 40, making sure I look smooth in the drills. But honestly, for me, I was anxious. It was bad. It was real bad. It was probably the most anxious I've ever been. I'm usually never ever like that. I'm usually calm, cool, collected as they come. But I was nervous, man, because it's something that you work for your whole entire life, and every single thing that you do within those 3-4 months weighs heavily on what happens on draft day. So it was something that was heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind, and like I said, you work for your entire life, and it's right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know where you're going, don't know what team you're going to. Because I didn't even know what position I was going to play for real. So so I was kind of all over the place with it. But I tried to make the most of it, try to have fun, try and be light as I could. But like I said, it was a challenge, but it was definitely a blessing for sure. I'm excited. I was excited about the entire process, but like I said, it was tough, but I enjoyed it.
Did you perform like you hoped you would have at the combine in your pro day?
So I didn't do anything at pro day, or at least the first pro day that we had. But at the combine, I ran. I thought I should have run faster. I ran a 4.46. I got to the line, and they tell us, think about all the training that you did, and all the steps and whatnot. And I got to that line. I was nervous. You know what I told myself? I said, "You've been running fast your whole life. Just run fast right now." So I had no technique, no nothing. I just ran. You know what I'm saying? And I naturally I'm fast, so I pulled out a good time. But I feel like I definitely should have hit 4.4 low, 4.3 high. But it is what it is. In regards to everything else, the drills I was smoothing. I think I did a great job in those. I didn't really drop no balls, nothing like that. Feet were fine, hips were fine. But the jumps, I could have performed better in the jumps. I feel like I had hurt my hamstring that past season, and I didn't get to do a lot of explosive stuff until late into the training, the combine training. So I didn't get the best. We tried to get the best work we could in, but I think I could have performed better on the jumps. But overall, I think I did a good job. I proved everything I needed to prove. I just needed to run fast, be smooth, and I did that. So.
All
Just
right,
when
so
you ran the
obviously-
40, all the training went out the window. It was just instinct.
Yeah, it was just like I was just run, man. Like, you've done this your entire life. My heart was like, I was just like, just run fast, man. Just do it. So I did.
So the actual draft rolls along after this whole process. You end up going 11th overall. I mean, obviously, just wait. You only waited 10 picks. Guys wait way longer than that, but it had to feel like much longer. So, like, what were the nerves like just sitting there waiting? And did you go about where you thought you would?
The nerves were definitely there. There was like 3 or 4 teams that I thought I could have gone to. It was either Cleveland was up there, San Francisco, and and Tampa Bay was up there. And then they traded back, and like those are the 3 teams, or in Chicago. And I was like, those are the teams I was thinking heavy about, that I talked to a whole lot during the process, that I communicated with the coaches and the staff and whatnot. I visited those 3 teams too, so I was like, all right, maybe one of these teams is going to pick me. But that didn't happen. And then after I think it was Chicago had pick number 9 and they didn't pick me, that's when I really was like, oh man, like I have no clue like what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And then number 11 rolled around and it was Miami, and they took me off the board. And but in regards to did I go where I think I could have gone? I thought I could have gone anywhere from 4 to late first round. You know what I'm saying? Because it just happens like that with DB sometimes. But especially when you have a talented group like we had in that first round. So, I was happy with where I went for sure. But if I didn't have to wait as long as I had to, I would have been a lot happier. But it all worked out.
Yeah,
Right,
I
so
know
let's-
it's been a while. I know it's been a while for you since the combine. But were you asked any weird questions? Because we always hear stories of like different coaches and teams asking different questions.
Yeah. Nah, I didn't get too many outlandish questions. Nah, not really. I didn't get no crazy. A lot of questions, but not a lot of crazy questions.
So
Gotcha.
let's jump back to your days at Alabama. This is a question that we actually got from one of our listeners, Ricky Duncan. So shout out to him. He's also an Alabama fan. So that's where this question comes from. During your time at the University of Alabama, you took a personality test and were found to have the closest match personality on the team with Nick Saban. Why do you feel that you were so alike in that way, and how has Coach Saban helped you in your journey to the NFL?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, that actually happened. So we did like when we first arrived on campus, they had the freshmen take these personality tests, and I think it was split up into like 3 or 4 different types of personalities, like social, analytical, and something else. And they would like do a pie diagram, and it had like, if you're analytical, really analytical, it'd be like 85, 10, 10, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was the opposite, like vice versa, work like that. And like I was super analytical and like really small social, and I forgot what the third one was, but mine was it was like 1% off from Coach Saban's, and people started bugging me about it and whatnot, and I was like, hey, I'll take it as a compliment. One of the greatest coaches, you know what I'm saying, to ever coach a game.
Sure.
But the more I was around him, the more I sat in the meeting room, in the DB room with him, I realized our personalities are very alike. You know what I'm saying? We're very meticulous, we're very analytical, and when it comes to the game of football. We hardworking guys, and we're reserved, but we enjoy loving the game, and just being around him and being around him in the work environment, really made me step my game up to the next level, because I seen the way he prepared, I seen the way he challenged himself and the people around him, and I seen the way that he lived to the standard that he set for himself every single day. So I think just by being around him and literally sitting next to him in the meeting room and around him, I learned just so much. You know what I'm saying? I could have gone anywhere in the country, but I feel like by being in the room with him and learning from him on a daily basis, I mean, why go anywhere else? You know, I can learn from him.
Yeah, I was cracking up when I actually listened back to that podcast that we were talking about before, the one with the guy in Jersey and the guy that went to Alabama. And I remember they were bringing up the fact that they asked, like, say if Saban was the same, and you were talking about, how does he have to recruit? And you said, well, he doesn't really have to. I mean, he just shows those championship rings,
Yeah,
and why not go there?
exactly, man. Why not? It's the best of the best. You're going against the best of the best, being coached by the best of the best. So why not?
To relate it now to the Steelers, what type of similarities, if at all, do you see between Coach Saban and Coach Tomlin?
Yeah, man, I see a lot. There's a reason why both programs are successful programs and both coaches are successful coaches. I'll say the main thing is the way that both of them prepare for the game. I've had the opportunity to sit in the actual coaches meeting before with Coach Saban as he's breaking down film and going through stuff as I was learning a new position. So I got to see the way that he broke the game down and the way that he thought about the game. And I've also had the same opportunity with Coach Tomlin. He has meetings with 3 or 4 guys in the room, and he has his notebook out, and he's just checking off a whole bunch of different stuff. Hey, make sure we look at this. He has numbers on the board, stats and numbers on the board from the offense that we're going against. Hey, second down and long or second down and 7 is this, is that, you know what I'm saying? And just really detailed when it comes to the game. And I think that's definitely something that they have in common. And they're a big part of why they're successful.
Gotcha. Okay, Tyler, you had a question about comparing a national championship game to his first NFL game.
Yeah. So while we were talking about college, you obviously got to play in multiple national championships. You won a couple. And so I was curious, what is like a more nerve-wracking feeling for you? Was it playing in the national championship or your first NFL game?
When it comes to playing the game, I'm not a big nerves guy. I just get excited. You know what I'm saying? I just get real excited. I just get like real, hopping around, jumping around, and whatnot. But if I had to, I'll say, I don't know. My first NFL game, I just felt super prepared. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't go into any nerves. I was just ready to play, lights out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something, like I said, something you dream of your whole life. So I put so much preparation into that game. But I would say the most nervous I've been was definitely my freshman year against Clemson in the national championship out in Arizona. Because, this is my first national championship game. I was young. I was starting. I was playing nickel, a little bit of corner, a whole lot of special teams. So it was a big game. My first big time, big black game. So it would definitely be that one.
Yeah, it's funny that it's such a subtle flex. My first national championship game. Got to go to multiple. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yes,
I got to give a shout out to one specific person in the chat right now, just to show you how far Steeler Nation spans. And I'm sure you already know. We have a guy in here right now. His name is Gareth. He's been a follower of the show for a while. He lives in South Wales. Wow. So he said hello from South Wales. And I had to give him a shout out because that just shows you where Steeler Nation is.
What's his name again?
His name's Gareth Ford.
Gareth? All right. Big shout out to Gareth, man. Big shout out to Gareth.
Oh, he's going to love that. He might screen grab that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's from Cody, who DM'd us to ask you this question. How does an NFL trade go down, at least from a player's perspective? Like, how did you find out?
Yeah, so I talked to Chris Greer and Coach Flo, the head coach and GM in Miami, the Monday after our second game, and we kind of made the final decision of, we think that a trade would be best for the both of us. And then right after I had both those conversations, I talked to Greer one more time, and he said, "Hey, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do." And finally came down to making the decision to leave. And then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna start weighing my options, talking to teams and whatnot." And I got a phone call like 5:30, 5:40 from Chris Greer again. He was like, "Hey, something came in from the Steelers. I think we're gonna take it. Just want to let you know before you start seeing stuff and whatnot." So that happened. Then he's like, "You're going to receive a phone call from Pittsburgh." And that's when Kevin Colbert the GM for the Steelers called me, told me, hey, Mink, welcome to the team. Got you for this, and that. Then I talked to Coach Tomlin that night. Then I got a flight for Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Then I flew from Fort Lauderdale to Pittsburgh, 9 to 12. So I got there around like 1. Got to Pittsburgh around 1. And then didn't even go to the hotel, just went straight to the facility. Started learning the playbook with Coach TA, our DB coach, for like 3 hours, and then finally went to the hotel. And then showed up for practice on Wednesday, and then rolled into it. Started on Sunday, played on Sunday, and just kept it pushing.
Got an interception, forced a fumble.
Yeah, I literally left. All I had like 4 T-shirts, a couple pairs of shorts, socks, underwear, and my toiletry bag, and that was it. And that's what I left with. It was crazy how fast it goes by, or how fast it happens, that whole process. But
yeah, and I was
just say, kind of going along there before you are going to ask what you were going to do.
Go for it.
You said Kevin Colbert reached out, Mike Tomlin reached out. Who was the first teammate that you actually spoke to, though?
That I actually spoke to? I had a lot of guys text me. I had Cam texting me.
So was Cam the first one to text you?
I can't remember who was the first one to text me.
Because we had
there's a lot of guys that had texted me, you know what I'm saying? And then the next day on Tuesday when I was in there was a lot of guys in there. So I had introduced myself and whatnot to guys I haven't met.
Okay, because we had Chris Wormley when he got traded from Baltimore this offseason. He said Cam reached out immediately. So I was just saying, if Cam was the first one to reach out to you too, I think that kind of just speaks to what we already know about Cam as a teammate.
Oh, yeah. He was definitely one of the first guys, for sure. He's definitely one of the first guys.
Okay. What were you going to say, Tyler?
Well, I was always curious because obviously we don't know, but you got traded midweek and then played that Sunday. So I didn't know if the Steelers had gone through the playbook with you and were trying to get you into their scheme, or if they just kind of told you just do your own thing because of the player that you are.
Mm-hmm. Nah, no such thing as doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Nah, it was so I got in there like I said Tuesday, and we started going over the playbook. Like literally when I got there, and football is football. Yeah, cover 3 is cover 3. Small little details change from team to team. It was more learning the terminology and the small little differences from Miami's coaching staff to the Steelers coaching staff, which wasn't crazy hard. But every day. So after practice, I watch like an hour and a half, 2 hours extra film with the coaches. Then I'll go home, watch more film, write in my notebook. You know what I'm saying? Draw the plays and coverages and whatnot. And that's really what I did for like 4 or 5 weeks until I really, really felt comfortable with the playbook. But obviously they did say, don't be out there playing timid and scared. Go out there and do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Be the instinctive, prepared, and athletic player that you are. And, they put me in a perfect position to do that. And, the result was the result.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a pretty good first game.
I should have mentioned I need anybody that wants to try to win one of these masks that I showed Minkah at the beginning. They come in 3 different colors. There's black, gray, and white. I need anybody that wants to try to win one in the chat to put the number 39, and we will pick 3 random winners throughout the rest of the show. Okay, so next question. Also kind of about the trade as well. It's the first time the Steelers have traded their first-round pick in 50 years. Is that something that you wear on your sleeve with pride, like they were willing to do this to go get me, or is it something that you don't even really think about?
No, it definitely meant a lot. I didn't know that until like a week or 2 after I had gotten traded, because I tried to stay off of social media for a little bit, but yeah, I mean that it was an honor once I found that out, because I think it was one of the Rooney owners had said, never trade away your first round pick. And, for Mr. Rooney, the current owner, to do that, meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? So after I found that out, I definitely took it to heart. And like I said, kind of wore it on my sleeve as, these guys took a leap of faith in me, seen an opportunity in me, and seen something in me to go against what, their foundation usually said to do. So I had to make the most of it.
And what did you know about Pittsburgh prior to the trade? I know that there's a picture from your pro day of you standing right there talking to Coach Tomlin, but obviously they didn't think that they'd have the opportunity to pick you. So I don't know if there's really a conversation there about it. But what did you know about Pittsburgh prior to getting traded here?
Not a thing, my man. Not a thing. I mean,
It's cold.
I knew it was a historic program and everything else like that because, it is the Steelers, but I didn't know anything, man. I had talked to Coach Tomlin briefly at Pro Day, and, I said to my mother actually after that I was like, he's a player's coach, and I would love to play for him one day if I had the opportunity. But besides those few interactions and whatnot at Pro Day and the Combine, I didn't know anything. There was a couple guys that I worked out with that played on the team and stuff like that, but I didn't know a thing. It was the first time I ever been to the city was when I flew out there the first day I got there that Tuesday. So like I said, I ain't know anything for real.
Gotcha. Okay, so what were your first impressions then of the team itself, the fan base, Heinz Field, everything?
Yeah, man. The team I said this before, and I said it's a team that I love playing with, man. It's the one they love the game. There's nobody on this team that doesn't love it. You know what I'm saying? There's always guys putting in extra work. There's always guys pushing each other. We have a great set of vets that set the standard for the team and teach the younger guys, not just set the standard, but actually teach, which doesn't happen a whole lot in professional sports. In regards to the fan base, I mean, we said before we got on the phone call, it reminded me of Alabama. You know what I'm saying? The way that the fans just love the game. They're passionate about the players. You know what I'm saying? And they have our backs. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. Last year wasn't our best year. It wasn't our worst, but they're still there through thick and thin, and they were excited to have me. So that was definitely an awesome feeling.
Who would you say in this short period of time? I know that even, I keep referencing that other podcast that you were on. I remember you talking about, that's like a big focus for you is getting acclimated more with the guys because you came in here and just had to be about football. So now you can learn more about the personalities of these guys. But who would you say, not to single anybody out, has been your like closest teammate?
Man, that's tough. I think I would say just the secondary as a whole, man. I think there's a lot of different personalities in the secondary, but we all work well together. You know what I'm saying? I think we have the Joe is the older vet that he's experienced. He's been in the league 10 years. Not too many guys have that, and being a great player all 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Is still going to be a great player for years to come. We have Steve. He's a guy that's kind of in the middle of his career that's not even at his peak yet. You know what I'm saying? He's performing great. We got Mike, we got Cam, we got me, TE. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of different guys that all work well, mesh well together on and off the field. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be hard to just single one guy out.
Yeah, I saw your interaction today with Joe talking about covering for him and Steve. Yeah. No, okay, so I mean, I don't want to talk about that too much and give it too much spotlight, but to not rank in the top 10 safeties on Madden, to not be part. Are you hiding your face for a reason here? Oh, okay. To not be on Pete Prisco's. Your picture went away for a second, but to not be on Mr. Pete Prisco's top 100 list. Does that add fuel to your fire? Is it something you don't think about, or like where does that play into this all?
Stuff like that. I mean, I don't let it bother me because it is just somebody's opinion. But when I do, because I want something to fuel me when I need it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why it had bothered me so much was because I had seen it. I seen everybody was tweeting about it and whatnot, and I was just like, it's some guy's opinion. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am. I know my value and the type of player I am. I was going to work out that morning, and I just felt real tired that morning, and I was just like, I need something to give me a little extra juice. You know what I'm saying? So then I started looking at all the tweets and everything like that, and I was like, I'm not going to respond, but I'm just going to use it to, get me hyped up. And what made me do it, honestly, was the MJ documentary. He was talking about how he would do the same thing. He would look at stuff, he would put stuff up in the locker room about his teammates and whatnot, just to, get them sparked up, motivated, and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm gonna do the same thing. And I did it, and then I responded because I just was hyped up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's I'm passionate about it. It's what I do for a living. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm one of the best at what I do. So somebody doesn't even think I'm worth being in the top 100 players. That's kind of outlandish to me, at least. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, he's entitled to his own opinion. But I can just leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything. This is just my opinion of how I would feel. So it's more indicative how teammates and the guys that you compete against feel about you, and we know what the perception is there. So I think the only reason that I would be upset as a player is just because you see these other guys' names that you stack up just as well, if not better than, ranked where they are and then where you're ranked. And that's why I would, feel some type of way about it. Not because I care about that guy's opinion of me, because I know how my teammates and my competitors feel about me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not even about that guy. It's about the other players down there that their head is now going to start, thinking that, oh, I am better than this dude and I am better than that dude because, some guy said, he's on the top 100 and whatnot. But exactly what you said. I know my teammates know how valuable I am to the team and the program. I know how valuable I am to my team and my program. My coaches know and my family knows. So I'm good,
Yeah, I gotta say, it definitely took Twitter by storm though when the Madden rankings came out, because not even like past Steeler fans, just fans across the country of any team were mad that you and Steven Nelson wasn't on it, or Joe Hayden. Like they were just so annoyed. And TJ, yeah, that's another point. I mean, the top 10 Steelers was just like, we looked at that and it was just terrible rankings for where we think they should be.
It's a game, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who the Madden Raiders are and whatnot, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, that's what we have a season for to change people's minds.
Do you?
Yeah, and the Madden will update too.
Do you ever play Madden, Minkah?
I be trying to, but I be trying to play it like it's an actual game, you know what I'm saying? And it don't work like that. It don't work like that. I be playing my little brother, he be whooping up on me. I be like, man, I can't play this game.
Just run 4 verticals the entire game.
I run verticals and curls, and that's it.
Have you played it? Do you play any other video games?
Since we're on the subject, I'm a big Call of Duty guy, man. Especially during quarantine. It's like me and a group of my boys, we'll play like every other night, just trying to get some wins in Warzone. But that's the only game I really play for real right now.
Gotcha.
Me too.
Okay, so you've already accomplished so much in just 2 seasons in the NFL, being a Pro Bowler and All-Pro. Obviously, you don't have the team, accolades to show for it yet. But personally, do you still feel like there's another level there? Or like, what are your personal goals going into the season?
Oh yeah, there's still a whole lot more personal goals. There's a lot that I haven't accomplished that I wanted to. But the way that I want to define my NFL success and my NFL career is by being a consistently successful guy. There's a lot of guys that can claim that they were, a Pro Bowler or All-Pro and whatnot, but there's not a lot of guys that can say I did it every single year of my career or almost every single year of my career. And I think those are the guys that, are looked at as the Hall of Famers. I think those are the guys that are looked at as, the all-time greats, the guys that really separate themselves from not just there's the good, the great, and the elite. And I'm trying to put myself in the elite category. So in order to do that, there's still a whole lot of meat left on the bone for me.
I noticed something. This is completely off topic. When you went like this, you have a tattoo right there?
Yeah, yes, sir. Uh-huh.
Because I noticed like we got like full sleeves on like Hayden and stuff. I didn't even notice you had any.
Yeah, no, I have it's a cross with a crown of thorns. Like, I don't know if you can really see it right there.
Yeah.
Okay,
around my wrist.
Okay.
Around my wrist. It says "Take up your cross and follow me," in Hebrew, and then on my fingers it's my sibling's name. You probably can't see it, but
I can make out, especially the one with the ring finger I can make out.
It's Destiny, Promise, Divine, and Justice. Those are my siblings' names. So
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, Mama Fitzpatrick didn't like that though.
Oh, really?
She didn't like that. No, not at all.
Not a huge tattoo fan?
Nah, not at all.
See, I got 6, and my mom was actually more on board than my dad was originally. Now neither of them care.
Well, that's funny.
Okay, so who would you say, and this is just speaking about the NFL, not going back to college, who's the best quarterback that you've won up against? And, who's the best pass catcher, whether it be a receiver or tight end, maybe even a running back out of the backfield? I don't know, whatever you think.
I would say it's hard to pick one But I would say the game that I really realized I was in the NFL was my rookie year when we played the Colts, and I was playing corner that game. That was one of my first games playing corner, and I was covering T.Y. Hilton. And I was playing a great game. I was covering him all over the field because Xavier Howard was hurt, and he ran a seam, right, and I was on his hip, perfect coverage, like couldn't be in any better position. And out of nowhere, I just see the ball just like fit right in between us, like right in his hip. And like I'm like, what? And like I was just I pushed him out of bounds. Like he almost scored. I pushed him out of bounds, and I was just like, no way. He just threw that ball like that. And that was one of the games where I was like, dang, like this is a real deal NFL quarterback. It was probably like week 7 or 8 of my rookie year, and I was like, yeah, this man is nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Andrew Luck's a stud. I'm so sad about that whole situation. I mean, he definitely did what's best for him. Good for him. Mm-hmm. But man, I wish he was still playing football.
Yeah, no, he's a great quarterback. I watched the film. I still watch that play to this day. I'm just like, dang, like that was crazy. But in regards to pass catchers, I don't know, man. There's so many good ones I've been up against. I couldn't even name one.
Yeah, there's so many good ones, man.
Say that again.
I just said there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Just pick out one.
I never played him, but I'm gonna have to go with the Bama guy, Julio. Of course, come on now. I'll say him. You know, he's just a freak. He's gonna catch everything. And when he pulled that ball out the air against the Patriots that one game, I was like, yeah, he got that.
That's everywhere. That's such an iconic photo.
Yeah, I actually saw that clip on Twitter today. That's funny you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite play from last season? If you had to pick one.
Of mine? Favorite play of mine or like team?
Favorite play of yours, yeah.
Definitely got to be the pick six against the Colts. That was like a I don't know. It's just one of those plays. It's a big play. You know what I'm saying? It's
at least a 10-point swing, maybe 14, because they were about to score.
Yeah, no, they were for real. It was a play that was much needed. I think it was a big swinging point in our season. You know what I'm saying? Because if they would have scored, it would have went up, we would have lost that game, and we wouldn't have started going on that streak that we went on. So I think it was a vital play that we needed. The fans clearly loved it, and it was a big play.
Hardest person to tackle.
Oh, hardest person to tackle. I don't want to give him no credit because I play him twice a year, but I'll probably say either Chubb or Lamar. Both of those two, either Nick Chubb or Lamar Jackson. Chubb, I mean, for obvious reasons, he's a big guy, powerful guy, but also fast. Then Lamar, once he gets in the open field, he's just shifty. You know what I'm saying? He can make moves, make you miss, and he's fast. So. Those two right there are definitely hard to bring to the ground.
Gotcha. Okay. Last year your role was pretty much primarily just playing free safety for the Steelers. Is that something that you think is going to continue, or would you personally like to move around a little bit more?
No, I think that's going to continue. I think it worked last year. We have very similar personnel coming back this year. We might do a couple things a little differently just to move me around, because as we've seen in the second half of last year, I didn't get a whole lot of action wherever I was in the field. That's because where people knew where I was going to be. So, whatever the coaches think is best, that's what we're going to do. But I don't think too much is going to change for real.
Okay. Who, if any, did you grow up watching that you kind of like tried to model your game after? And maybe even like if that wasn't the case, do you see your style of play in anybody else that it resembles?
Yeah. Growing up, I grew up a Philly fan. Sorry to say it.
Cover your ears, everybody.
I grew up a Philly fan, so I love watching Brian Dawkins play, man. I don't think we have a very I don't think I'm as big of a hitter type guy as him.
He's thumper. That's the word we like to use.
Thumper. Yeah, thumper, exactly. But I think we play with that same high energy, fast pace, always running to the ball, passionate type play. I always try to model that after him. And then when I was in college, I really watched a lot of Malcolm Jenkins when he was in Philly because he was a guy that moved around, moved from outside to inside all the way to playing linebacker at some point. And I was kind of doing that towards the end of my career at Alabama. So I watched a lot of his film, broke it down. Coaches was going over it with me. So I think those two guys right there, and also Ed Reed, man, he's just one of those guys, those ball hawks. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I did a lot last year. And I started watching a lot of his film because I didn't play a whole lot of free safety at Alabama or in Miami. So I was trying to learn as I was playing the game. And, I found a lot of similarities in the way that we play.
Yeah, I mean, everybody always tries to bring up like Troy Polamalu, but because he's such a great Steeler safety of all time, but you guys are completely different in terms of play style. So, both great in their own. Wow, a bunch of comments just came in. Own respects, but completely different. Let me see if I can get to any of these. Other than Troy and okay. So you made the decision now to stick with the number 39 as I'm rocking right now.
Yes, sir.
Was that more of a decision because, like, I don't know, did the fans play into that at all? Like thinking how many people already have my jersey? Was that even something you thought about? Or...
yeah, I mean that was a part of it, but the main thing for me was it was I didn't get to pick the number one. And then I just said if it treated me well, I'm gonna keep it. You know what I'm saying? If I had a good year, solid year, which I did, it means it treated me well. It doesn't mean much, but it treated me well, and I was just gonna stick with it, make it my own.
Yeah, well, in that aspect, I guess that might have answered this. Are you superstitious then? Do you feel like you couldn't change it because the year you had?
I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like if I would have changed to 29, I would have. If I really wanted to, I would have done it. But like I said, 39 is not a number that a lot of people wear, especially DBs or safeties, and I just wanted to make my own. That's what people see me as this year. Minkah Fitzpatrick, number 39 on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I didn't think there's any need to change it.
Yeah, I remember fellow Crimson Tide member Marlon Humphrey, because he wears number 44. You guys took that picture after the game, and he put up the caption like making these ugly numbers cool or something like that.
Exactly. You got to make these ugly numbers look good, man.
But you would have been 29 then if it wasn't taken when you came here.
Yeah, I probably would just transition right over to 29.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Whenever you got traded here, I was kind of disappointed that you wouldn't be able to wear 29, and then I saw you play in 39, and I was like, yeah, that looks good too. Like immediately.
Yeah, when I seen them pull up that 39, it was like 39, 41, and like 40 something, and I was like, I'm gonna go at 39. It's an ugly number, but I'm gonna try my best to work with it. And like I said, luckily it treated me well.
Obviously with Ben going down last year, offense at times was very few and far between, hard to come by. Was that something as a defense that you guys kind of embraced? Like, hey, we got to hold teams to under 20 or else we don't stand a chance in this game?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry. It was going in and out.
So with the way that the offense was last year after losing Ben, kind of up and down, not really finding the consistency, and you playing on the defensive side of the ball, was that something that the defense kind of embraced? Like, we have to hold teams under 20 to be able to compete in this game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it was we just had to go out there and do our job. You know what I'm saying? Our job as a defense is to keep points off the board or not allow the opposing offense to put points on the board. So we just really embraced that. We said, look, we gotta be the best of the best right now, and I think all of us really embraced that challenge, took it in, prepared, and did the things that we had to do to win games and hold up our part as a defense. So it's definitely something that wasn't easy, but we definitely embraced.
Right. Cool. So how different has this offseason been as opposed to your first one? Like, got to be completely different.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a whole lot of differences, especially with COVID going on. I definitely learned how to manage my offseason a lot better. Because my first one, I was so used to always just, going and going and going and going and going and not really ever recovering and resting. So I learned how to not overwork myself, if that makes sense. But still working hard, like pushing myself to my limits, but not doing that. You can't do it every day for 6 months. This is not healthy. It's not going to be beneficial for you when it comes time for the season or halfway through the season when you're hitting that wall. You're going to be burnt out because you tore yourself up for the previous 6-7 months. Like I said, I just learned how to manage it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest difference besides being locked in the house for 4 months.
Is there anything that you've like taken the opportunity because of this COVID stuff to like kind of hone in on, or like is there one thing that you're focusing on?
In regards to personal life, I spend a lot more time with my family. Just being intentional with my family time, because we all decided to be under one roof during that time, and I think it was definitely beneficial for us as a family. Because we're a close family, and I was up in Pittsburgh for however many months, and I didn't get to see them, so it was good to just be under one roof again, and spend that time with my family. Football wise, and just getting better wise, I would say I've been trying to work on my mobility and also my strength at the same time. Because when you uh, hit that wall, like I stated before, halfway through the season or around week 8, 9, 10, 11, the way that you take care of yourself is really going to show. You know what I'm saying? Because there's guys that are breaking down at that point, and it's because they don't take care of themselves. And I'm usually one of those guys that take a lot of care of themselves. And something I realized I needed to work on at that time of the year was I felt stiff. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't stretching enough. I wasn't doing the right things to remain mobile and loose, even in the cold. Like you still do a lot of things to still make sure you're moving the right way and making sure you're good. So I've been working on that.
Gotcha. Okay. Kayla just popped in the chat here and asked, has there been like any type of teammates that you actually have been able to like link up with and work out, or maybe like guys from opposing teams that you've done any workouts with?
We haven't done too many because it is guys are trying to be safe. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to get nobody sick that doesn't need to if we don't really have to be out and about and whatnot. So I haven't gotten a whole lot of stuff done in regards to that sense. Whenever I could, there's a lot of guys down here in South Florida. So if I could get somebody in front of me, I've been doing that and trying to get some work in.
Gotcha. Okay.
My phone is I'm on my phone and my phone is about to die. Can
Gotcha.
I grab a charger or?
No, we're pretty much wrapping up here. I was just going to ask last couple of things here. What are you most looking forward to then during the 2020 season?
I'm looking forward to, just put all of our hard work on display. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though we've been going through this craziness right now, I know myself and a lot of my teammates been, pushing ourselves and challenging ourselves. So I know we're all just, because Coach Tomlin actually said we want to use this as an advantage. It's going to be a disadvantage for a lot of different teams, and we really want to use this as an advantage of ours because there's going to be guys that come in out of shape. There's going to be guys that come in overweight and not ready to play football, and we want to be we want to use it as an advantage and be ready the day that we come in or as close as ready as we can so that we can get right to football. And like I said, just put all our hard work on display.
Have they been on you guys pretty good about reminding you to work out?
They send us like the workout schedule and stuff like that and routines and whatnot. I don't think I'm one of those guys that need to be reminded too much, so I haven't got too many reminders. But I'm sure there's people that they got to send a couple texts to and calls to.
Yeah, because this offseason is just completely different all the way around.
Yeah, it's different because it's not like they compared it to the lockout when it was 2011 or 10, and it's different because you couldn't even go to a gym. You know what I'm saying? At least in the lockout, you could go to a gym or go to a field or go to a park or do something like that. But right now, or at least in the previous months, you weren't allowed to even leave your home basically unless you're going food shopping, which isn't a workout at all. So
right, yeah, Nick, who like I mentioned earlier with that graphic of you in the mink coat, He said we gotta get one of those shirts to Minkah, and then we should give one away right now along with these masks.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea, man. Get one to me. I'll wear one before a game, and I'll wear the mink coat over it too.
That
That'd be
will
awesome.
definitely pop up on social media.
For real, that was funny.
Okay. Last thing before you go, I need you to pick 3 numbers from 1 to 25.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 7. You said to 25.
Up to 25, yeah.
25, 7, 21, and 10.
Okay. Got it. All right, Minkah, this has been awesome. We already obviously appreciate you as a player, but I think we both have a newfound appreciation for you as a person as well after this. So we can't thank you enough for coming on, and we look forward to watching you do your thing on the football field, hopefully very soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me on, man. It's been a great opportunity for me.
Yep. Take care, man.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so now I am going to have to go back and find who were the ones to comment there. Minkah's frozen here, but that's fine.
Someone's gonna screenshot this, I bet.
Oh, for sure. Now he's going to be on the internet for a while.
There it is.
Anyway, thanks again to Steelers defensive back, Pro Bowler, All Pro. Should be at minimum a 92 on Madden. Should have definitely been not only in Pete Prisco's top 100, but top 50. I know he only had 2 safeties on there, but listen.
That list overall, even just excluding the safety position, that list overall was horrible. Every position. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, huge thank you to Minkah for coming on. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that we were able to make it happen. When honestly, like when I found out that he was for sure down, I didn't know that this was like the first Pittsburgh podcast he would have done. So, I mean, yeah, happy that we were able to make it happen, and happy that we were the ones to be those guys to put it together. But once again, shout out to Minkah Fitzpatrick. I want to tell you guys also about our sponsor, Keats Barbershop. Thanks for sponsoring this show that just had Minkah Fitzpatrick on. Keats Barbershop is an old-fashioned barbershop. It's located at 180 Brighton Avenue in Rochester, PA. He's open 11 to 7 Tuesday through Friday and 9 to 4 on Saturday. Every Tuesday, he does $5 off for military personnel, first responders, and nurses. Once again, Keats Barbershop, 180 Brighton Avenue in Rochester, PA. He also just cut Tyler's hair, so he now cuts everybody that is currently in this room's hair. If Minkah was still in here, we wouldn't be able to say that, at least yet. Minkah, if you need a new barber during your time in Pittsburgh, when you get back here,
Rochester,
we can hook you up, just like we're going to be hooking you up with one of those shirts. And I think Nick said something about running through walls in his apartment when he sees that happen.
Also, I agree with Jake. Minkah's a top 3 safety, period.
Yeah. Comments are pouring in right now saying great interview. I can't thank everybody that's in here enough. Everybody on Twitter for the support enough. You guys are awesome. You know, you keep us wanting to do things like this and bringing you guys this type of content. It truly does mean the world to me. I don't want to get too emotional, but I've talked about it before. Like, this podcast has been my saving grace, and I'm so happy that we're doing it and really turning something out of it now. This is we're about a month away from when we recorded episode number 1. I believe is August 28th.
Yeah, and that episode was terrible. So please do not go back. And listen.
No. Yeah, I'm by no means saying don't listen to anything.
Don't listen to that.
Episode 10.
Literally the first 3 seconds, you're going to be pissed. But yeah, I mean, like Smitty, I appreciate all of you. It's really awesome to see that people actually like want to see what we're putting out and are interested in it. Which, I mean, before we started this, I never thought that like people would actually care about us talking about sports. When we just started this for fun. I mean, we had barely any listeners when we started it, and now we've got over 5,000 followers on Twitter. It's just awesome to see.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why that support pours in, and that's why like the giveaways just keep coming, because I want to find a way to give back to the people that do this for and we live. Yeah, that's why we talked about. We don't want you to listen to the first couple.
Do not go look at that.
Okay. I need to
also appreciate it if all of you in the chat, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like this video, because it really helps us out a lot. And we're whenever we get to 1,000 subscribers, and this is for everybody listening, when we get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to have a lot of giveaways. I know Smitty has a few Steelers jerseys that he's giving away.
Ryan Platt, Justin Russo, Ross Nickel, those are the winners of the mask.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a...
So, yeah, he's got a few Steelers, Tua jersey, and who's the other one?
It's Nelson. It's folded right along the end. Yeah.
All right. And then I currently have a Kevin Newman signed bat and may have a signed puck or ball to give away. We might see. So I don't know which one I'll give away. I've got multiple, but we'll just keep that in the works. But yeah, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, that's what we're doing.
I want to say we've mentioned, I don't want to mention and single out people because there's so many people that support us. But like recently, the people that we've brought on to help us with our content, you know, Sarge doing the YouTube videos for us. Recently, Nick's done some designs. Max Bear has done some designs for us. Kelly Geis, who does the videos for us, are awesome. When she sends me them and I start watching them, my parents ask why I'm screaming. So they're awesome videos. I believe that's pretty much our content team right now besides us. But big shout out to all those guys for helping us do this stuff as our platform has continued to grow. We appreciate you guys more than you know. But other than that, it's been Smitty. It's been Tyler. Stay on the lookout for anything new that we might have coming in the coming weeks. I think that's it.
I'll be at the beach next week.
Not sure what's going on next week.
We may or may not have an episode.
Because we may or may not be having a guest. That's all I'll say.
If we don't have a guest, we don't have an episode. If this guest can only do this week, we're having an episode. We won't say who it is yet, but I will be at the beach, but I will make time for this guest if he's coming on.
Right.
That's all we'll say.
Okay. Other than that, Smitty and Tyler from the Pod Hub Network, allsteelers.com, sponsored by Keeks Barbershop, and we will talk to you on the next episode of Around the 412. Bye-bye.